What is going on? This is your boy Jordan JC back again on the ATS Report. And to kick this video off, because this is going to be a good one, I want to read a statement made by a coach back in 2017 about the college football playoff committee. Said there are people on the committee who don't even have remote associations with football, nor have they at any level other than being a fan. But you know what? Let's have them on the committee. That was a statement made by Mike Leach when he clowned the committee back then. And quite frankly, I think that statement needs to be kind of updated to the committee and whoever it is that's on that committee for this year. If you're not living under a rock, you know that the 4 teams that were picked for the playoffs for college football, respectively, is Michigan at 1, I believe Washington at 2, Texas at 3, and then, of course, your very own lovely, how in the world did they get in again, Roll Tide, Alabama, Crimson Tide. And really, it's more so pinpointing on that team, that Alabama team, that rightfully they won the SEC championship over Georgia, right? And Georgia was a top team in the league, and so they got taken out of that top 4. But for Alabama specifically to jump over a perfect team in FSU, that started raising eyebrows as to, well, what are we doing this for? Has wins and losses become so unimportant in sports and in college football specifically that we can just allow this to continue to go on? There seems to be this leaning towards SEC teams. Of course, we know that Alabama gets all of the talent in the world. We know the track record. We know the Crimson Tide get 4-star and 5-star players every single year. That's fine. But is there something to be said about the competition level and the fact that all of these teams are going out and trying their hardest, playing their heart out to have a successful season, and then the end result is that you still aren't able to make the cut? Florida State was 13-0. And quite frankly, we know exactly why they didn't make the cut, because Jordan Travis went down and got hurt, and now they have their third-string quarterback playing. And I guess some people are saying, well, that's the reason why they didn't make it, is because nobody, entertainment-wise, doesn't want to see a third-string quarterback play because that's not going to be as exciting to watch. Let me tell you something. In all of sports, injury is part of the game. So is that an excuse for a team who played their heart out, who deserved, through their play, to make one of the top 4, and not 4 probably number 1 or number 2 or 3, to be leapfrogged by Alabama? Well, the answer is no. And I share the sentiments. I was looking at the show with Richard Sherman and Skip Bayless and all those boys on there. And one thing that Richard Sherman said, and he pretty much just was going scorched earth. I got to look it up real quick. He said, I have a huge problem with it. This is a huge problem with college sports in general, and that's why I don't watch it. I think it's a bunch of BS, because college used to be about the underdog story, about pageantry, about amateurism, and any team at any given time can have a chance at a national title. Now it's become about politics. Florida State went undefeated, and the only knock against them is their starting quarterback got hurt. And this is why I think there's a bunch of hypocrisy with this, because if you're going to say that Florida State didn't make it because they're not going to be a brand of entertaining football when it comes down to it, well, let's just use the other 4 teams that made it. If J.J. McCarthy goes down tomorrow, Blake Corum tomorrow, is Michigan going to get taken out of the running? Are they going to get replaced by, let's say, Georgia now comes into the picture? Oh, well, we need to switch some things up now, because now the revenue is not going to be brought in because people aren't going to have eyes on the game. We understand it's a business to this, right? But there's a fine line between, okay, we want the money to come rolling in, but we also need to pay it forward to these players and these young men on this team that deserve to be here. You can't just eliminate the fact that wins don't matter all of a sudden. Let's go to Texas. Texas quarterback goes down. Are you going to say they're out? If Kool-Aid McKinstry on the Roll Tide goes down, if Dallas Turner on the Roll Tide goes down, you're gonna eliminate them from the top 4? If Michael Penix Jr., if Keon Coleman, or Duze rather, goes down, you're going to take Washington out of the top 4? Injuries are part of the game, and that is the hypocrisy that I have with this. Is just because in the moment, these whoever these leaders or this committee is, whoever they're made up of, are probably gearing this towards, okay, what are ratings going to be? We know Alabama squeaked in, and many people were saying that, well, Florida State probably should have been out of the running, but the teams that they went up against didn't do their job, and they just happened to have a perfect record. And a lot of people in the committee didn't expect them to be 13-0. And so they needed just some kind of excuse to get them out of there. And Alabama gave it to them. They beat a great team in Georgia, and you leapfrog from 8-4. How in the world does that happen? Stop it. And this is, again, the hypocrisy in college football. And this is why a lot of people, even when I went back to the video a long time ago about Deion Sanders in Colorado, and a lot of people are kind of going at him because you're going to start seeing a balance in recruiting and all these players going to other teams other than these power teams, these SEC teams that are, the norms as far as being some of the gauntlets and the juggernauts in college football. I think over time, you're going to start seeing the sport level it out a little bit. Yeah, yes, Alabama's still going to get some really, really good players out of recruiting because that's just what it is. Yes, Georgia's going to get theirs. Yes, LSU is going to get theirs. All these different colleges that have the reputation of being where you want to go, who have the legendary head coach. Of course, they're still going to do what they do. But I think eventually, because of things like this, there's going to be a leveling out of recruiting and where these players go because they see the hypocrisy. There's no way that you should allow these men from Florida State to not have their chance in the sun. And maybe they're looking back at when TCU made it to the bowl, to the finals, and got completely whooped. Doesn't matter. They earned that chance to try and win the game. And so those are my opinions about this. I think that college football has gotten too political and based off of money. We know that all sports is based off of how much money and revenue is brought in. We understand that. That's the business aspect of sports. However, you do not eliminate the fact that wins matter more than anything. And that's why I think that there has to be some sort of accountability held against whoever is on this committee going forward. There needs to be some sort of judgment call or call out on whoever made these decisions because it's not right. How do you guys feel about that? Obviously, I'm sure those that are rooting for Florida State, just a sour moment, doesn't leave a good taste in your mouth because this is just not right. And I mean, it's as simple as that. This is just not right. And I'm not a professional, analyst in college football. And, I'm not big on watching every single game. But when I heard this, I just had to speak on it because that is something that, it can kind of resonate in all of sports. Winning matters. You don't eliminate a team from getting into the playoffs if they have a better record than another team. That's just like saying if the Bulls just happen to have a better record than the Bucks, and the Bucks somehow get out of the running to be in the playoffs this year, but the Bulls replace them. And then they're saying, oh, well, because they have Giannis and Dame, we want them to be in the playoffs. So we're just gonna leapfrog the Bulls, and the Bulls are not going to be good television to watch or entertaining to watch. So we're just going to replace them. Doesn't make any sense. A team deserves to get there if they win and they put in the work. And so, again, I'll be with you guys in the comment section. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of feelings and a lot of opinions on this, whether you feel like, hey, yes, Alabama is supposed to be there because they're good television and appointment television to watch. Sure, great. But then there's others that are also going to see the hypocrisy in this and the fact that Florida State got snubbed. So I want to see what you guys think. Let me know how you feel. And as always, if you like this video, show some class, comment, like, and subscribe. Share this video with others. And I'll see you guys on the next ATS Report.